Mahama Yariga is still in the news. You'll find out why here on Johnny's Interactive. And the Black Starlets are in action against India. Remember that 101 scoreline story we were told when we were kids? Will that scoreline come true today? Well, also expect a throwback on the show because it's Thursday. Settle down, pipe your comments through to us on Johnny's, on TV, on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Benes Abubedu and this is your show. And just so you know, we are also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. So let's start with the man who was in charge of Ghana's environment for some time in the Eswal Mahama government. Former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mahama Yariga, has been speaking about the gas explosion that occurred at Atomic Junction over the weekend. Well, at a point he said, and I quote, "It's a major problem when I have to be very frank, that undue political pressure is the reason why filling stations get sited at the wrong places," end of quote. Now, usually when such disasters happen, government compensates the victims. Mahama Yariga has been speaking about that as well, and he says it's wrong for government to use state funds to compensate victims of gas explosions and similar accidents caused by the negligence of private companies. Now, he opines such a practice does not encourage fuel station owners to be responsible in adhering to the safety requirements. What do you make of this? Well, you're here to pick your comments. Charles Nana Edu actually exclaims and says, let's read to understand. He never said the victim shouldn't be compensated. He said they should be compensated, but should come from those companies who caused the harm out of negligence. Exactly what we said here. Victor Ampong says this is quite true. The owners should be accountable for their deeds, and if the government keeps footing every bill, I wouldn't be surprised if those owners won't come calling for bailouts from the government. There should be a retribution to ward off people from acting anyhow. The liability lies on the perpetrators, but not the government. The government is to uphold the laws. Thank you, Victor, for your comment. Khalil Maestro, he says, I really support what the MP is saying. Why should the government foot the bills when the accident was caused by the negligence of personnel of the fuel stations? The fuel company should be made to compensate the victims of the disaster, says Allah have mercy on us. Nasser Hassan Yayuma says, a very wise statement. He is right. The compensation should come from the companies who, out of their negligence, caused the accident. The company should be made to bear all the costs that will be involved in treating the victim. So I'm just picking some of your comments on this statement by former Environment Minister during the Mahama administration, Mahama Yariga. Now, this is his argument that government shouldn't compensate victims of accidents caused by private persons. And a lot of you, so far, the comments I've read, seem to agree. But let's find out if we have anybody with a different opinion. Belovedson Obene says, Ayariga, how can you go to someone who has lost his property and ask them for money to go compensate victims that were involved during the accident? The government has to pay them with state funds because they pay their taxes. And besides, there's some amount of money that the owners of the filling stations paid for safety at the end of every month. And he says, I expect Ayariga to know it. I'm sure you mean to say better, not matter. There are three replies to that. Can we see what people think about this statement? Well, here's someone who thinks that, yes, it may have been caused by private individuals, but they're also counting their losses. Besides, these people who are going to be compensated pay their taxes anyway. Hamidu Jalal says, are their businesses not insured? The insurance companies will pay for the damage. What are you talking about? If you don't understand how these things work, learn before you comment. Belovedson comes back to say, well, do you know the amount of money involved to do that? He's asking. And after, do you think the owner of the company can come back again and work to pay the increased insurance? And let's consider our brothers and sisters who are suffering now at the hospital. And he also comes to reply that statement that he should learn before commenting, and he goes on and on about it. But let's hear what some of you think about this statement by the former Environment Minister during Mahama's administration, Mahama Yariga. Saiful Islam says, this is true to the highest degree. The private companies cannot cause this due to negligence and expect the government to pay for them. They should be made to pay the compensation themselves. Mercy Abochi Mensa says, yes, I concur. Why should the taxpayers' money be used to compensate the victims as a result of someone's refusal to think or do the work he or she is paid for? They should use those who are in charge of our safety's money, okay? Awatiga Kofi says, if he said the victim shouldn't be compensated by the government, I think he's right. Why should we waste taxpayers' money on someone's neglect? Doesn't make sense, he says. Mohammed Yassin Adams CD says, he talked sense, well, according to him, for the first time, but this isn't what's really needed. They should be relocated to a more safer place. The Pana Child says, these are annoying comments and absurd comments from an MP. Are the victims not Ghanaians? Or better still, if you have the money, you can go ahead and help them, period. 7 replies to Apana Child's comment. And let's see what people think about Apana's opinion. Well, Mohammed Yassin Adam says, learn how to read and stop being lazy, all right? Lukman Bawa Lukman says, don't get it twisted. He said government should not compensate the victims from state coffers, but must ensure that the filling station owners pay the compensation to the victims. This is because it's the sheer negligence of the fuel stations that caused some of these explosions. And Hamidu Chalao says, shouldn't their businesses be comprehensively insured? Or you don't understand the meaning of owning a business. As we speak, their insurance companies will pay them for the damage. That's if they're insured. And we, the taxpayers, will pay the victims for their carelessness while they go home with fat bank accounts. It's common sense. And Okulu Vincent said, but it's under your power and you granted some people the permit to cite their companies due to political influence. We'll continue to suffer if we didn't reason well. Rans Nana Mreku says, my question for him is, would he have said the same thing if his mother or any family member of his was among the victims? He's asking. Kojo Bezom says, I agree. Why must government be using state funds to compensate gas explosion victims instead of putting up infrastructure? That's according to Kojo. Says it's a shame. And Romeo Alpha Gardison says, only the wise would understand what the MP said. So those were some comments on former Environment Minister Mahama Yarige's statement that, you know what, government shouldn't be paying the compensation for gas explosion victims when these explosions are really caused by the negligence of private individuals. He thinks the private individuals should do that themselves. Now, away from that, there's this quote I want to share with you, and your duty is to tell me who made that statement. I quote, the test of religious belief is not in pious platitudes and cautious charity, but in positive and creative action. Let me say it again. Let me take that quote from the beginning, and you'll be telling me who made that statement. And it says, the test of religious belief is not in pious platitudes and cautious charity, but in positive and creative action. Who made this statement? Let's get on to Facebook. And Senior Orion Savvy says, if you don't know the answer but came to read funny comments, but he knows the answer. He says it's Jerry John Rawlings. By the way, credit Google and Wikipedia. I love that. You're an honest guy, Senior. He didn't know. He actually went to check it out. You're an honest guy. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says, I don't have an idea, but that's a nice piece. And Bayer Jeremiah says, His Excellency Jerry John, hey, Lawrence. I'm sure it was a mistake. I'm sure it means. So I don't. Let me ask my producer: is he right or wrong? He says Jerry John Lawrence. All right. Okay. So according to my team in the back, you are not right. I'm sorry. We don't know any Jerry John Lawrence, but hey, that's Jerry John Rawlings who made that statement. Apana Child says, "Oh, I don't know, but the person who made that statement is 100% correct." Emmanuel Drafo says, "No idea, but it's very thought-provoking." Stephen Opon-Kwabna, really, Stephen, I'm not going to read your comment. Real Dice laughs out loud and says, I've not eaten yet. Don't come and quiz me this morning. Elam Dikofi says, former President Jerry John Rawlings. Nasir Hassan Yaima says, I don't know, but it's such a strong statement. Jomo Jumoyao says, I'm guessing Bugri Nabu. Yes. No, you are wrong. It's not Bugri Nabu who made that statement. And Abdul Jalil says, Nana Akufo-Addo, sorry, it's not him. TZ Tament says, Joy News is now Waek. Mad Max Lion, he doesn't tell us who he thinks made this statement, but he thinks it's a wise man and says Jawise. Lionel Allen Steele says Michael Power. PSC Anansi says Jackie Chan. Really? Anyway, that was a statement made by former President Jerry John Rawlings, and he says the test of religious belief is not in pious platitudes and cautious charity, but in positive and creative action. On that note, we'll take a quick breather here on Joy News Interactive. But before then, here's our Throwback Thursday video.
You stand there and ask you very carefully. You swear before man and God that you haven't slept with a woman before. Because we don't want anybody to go and sleep with a woman and come and join our group. Because it can bring chaos to us.
No, but merely standing there and then swearing that you've never had sex, it's not enough proof to show that you're a virgin.
The reason is, when you want to come and join our group, we will ask you whether you have slept with a woman or not.
And
we will give
and then I'll say no.
And swear. You will swear before God. We will let you swear. After that, you know, if you want to, we said we will let you say something bad to yourself that if you know you have slept with a woman before, that bad thing will come to you. Because we are very serious. We want God to answer our prayer.
What is the aim of this group?
The aim of this group is that we preach for Ghana peace.
Okay. So that's all you do?
Yeah, we pray for Ghana.
You don't preach to win souls for God?
We pray to win souls. But whilst we are in election year, for now, no, we pray for Ghana peace. And also we preach about peace.
Okay. So you are a virgin?
Yeah, I'm a purely virgin.
Have you ever kissed a woman before?
Oh, kiss there. I've kissed with a woman before. Let me tell you the truth. Next year I will marry.
Okay.
If I tell the whole Ghana that a woman is not with me, I'm a liar.
So do you stay with the woman?
No, I don't stay with her because sometimes you come close to me. I've go and see her parents, but I haven't slept with her because I'll marry her.
But you have been kissing her?
Kiss, yeah, I've kissed one or two.
But why do you keep doing this? What does it mean?
No, I normally preach with signs.
Okay, so
this will show power. And when I do this, it show I'm power. It show power. That's why I normally say I'm rare. I'm rare, purely virgin.
But doing this, you don't think it will scare the woman you want to marry? God, this it means something else.
No. I don't normally go with this to my wife because it will not help. But I might not say my wife. I might say they use some English.
Fiance?
Yeah, fiance. Because I'm now about to marry her, but I haven't slept with her.
How long have you been dating her?
Oh, it's about 8 months. But he's not staying with me.
Do you at times feel the urge to have sex with her?
No. For now, I normally ejaculate. But if I say I haven't ejaculated before, I'm a liar.
How do you ejaculate?
Hey, when I'm about to wake up, around 5 a.m., 4 a.m., when I'm on my bed, I see that I've ejaculated. But I haven't slept with a woman before.
You mean erection?
Yeah, erection.
Okay, because that's different from ejaculation.
Yeah, erection.
Okay, so it stands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm very good man. Normally, I see myself that I stands.
Thank you for staying on the show. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and if you haven't gotten your breast tested, please do so. Now, the Black Stars are up against India in a match that will decide their qualification to the next round of the ongoing FIFA Under-17 World Cup competition. That match is at 2:30 Ghana time. Now, some people think the Ghana Football Association should channel its resources into making the junior teams better than they are now. What do you think? Khalil Maestro says, a very good initiative, but sadly, the GFA will not listen to the advice of experts due to their own personal aggrandizement, says Allah help us. Via Jeremiah says, we should always remember those players in the national senior team, the Black Stars, were once in the junior team. We should invest more into the Black Stars and they will make it. The team only needs the spirit of the whole nation to be behind it. Prince Nudin Baumia says, well, I wish them all the best of luck. Yaya Amzaki says, says, never, they have no future. They don't play any good game to merit that. There are 3 replies to that. Can we see what the replies to Yaya Amzaki's comments are? Vincent De Bosque says, get out. Yaya comes back to say, come along. And Nene says, I'm not sure you watch them play. And these are responses to Yaya's comment that he thinks that the Starlets don't play any good football. Emmanuel Traffo says, it's about time the GFA put measures in place to see to it that this will see the light of day. I'm not sure what you're referring to. It's quite difficult to understand. Dark War Bing says, we will beat them. Okay, the old believes that Indians can turn the ball into a lion head in the goalpost. Interesting. And Abdul Jalil is giving a high five to somebody. I don't know why. But Abdul comes back to say, absolutely, I agree. He agrees to the fact that the GFA should channel their resources into developing the junior teams. Bisa Kispa says, please, time of the match is 2:30 GMT. James Busanga says, good luck, guys. Now, still on that match, what do you think the scoreline will be? Remember that story most of us heard as children, that there was a match and India lost or won by 100 goals. Very, very interesting. Call them stories, fables, I don't know. But Rashad Romeo says, we'll play pot again. So guys, be aware of hot pot. Why? I'm not sure what he means by that. But John Sappho says, what's the time of the match? And Darlington says, as usual, 100-1. Kojo Adam says, that is same match. Oh, really? Theresa Eshen says, I've entered the hospital to check my BP. Nana PCFree is asking for the time, but it's at 2:30 GMT. Swahilu Tahiru says, Ghana 4, India 1. TZ Tamen says 100-1. Srali Fudramani says, please, what time is the match? Don't worry, we'll put it up on Facebook. I'm sure a lot of you would want to watch it. Lokman says 2-0. I don't know in whose favor. I'm sure in the Black Stars' favor. Black Starlets, I beg your pardon. Ali Williams says, winning. Ajumandia Jenfi laughs and says 100-1. Gabriel Esilfi says 100-1. Yaya Mohammed says, wishing them good luck. Tony Jacob, 2-1. Another 100-1 says time for revenge. Abdul Razak Ahmed says 3-1. Philip Apia 5-0. Eric, what time are we playing? Once again, we are playing at 2:30 GMT. You're watching Johnny's Interactive, and I'm Ben Sabubedi.